Hey everybody. So yeah, last time I was working on trying to figure out what in the world these different bevel things are, and I did. It became very obvious that I have a bunch of repeated code that really shouldn't be there. So I said I was going to fix that on this one. So that's what I'm going to do. I have three instances where I create a new text geometry, and basically they're all identical. So it makes a lot of sense to say create a function called, like get text geometry or something like that. Man, that is a long ass function. Um, so like get text geometry tree, and that should accept a mesh item, which is a type mesh item. Mesh. What did I call these things? Let's see. Mesh item. Go to the definition. Mesh interface. So alt back, left and mesh interface. And this will return let's see, it is going to return a text geometry. Alt back, and like that. And go back over here. And basically, I think at this point, we can just take this code right here. I always do this, and I always end up having to add turn. Okay, I want to pass in the. Should I? I don't think I should pass in the font. Okay, because I think the font is still going to come from the mesh item. Um, so it doesn't make sense. How do I get this font? Shin. Okay. So this is going to end up forcing that to be an await. And then, wait, wrong. Let's see. There you go. Right, and then we'll just make this an async. And then we'll just say await font. And then I think it's like this, promise. Because that's what it now does. And that means we have to go back to these places. And we have to say await. And then this dot get text geometry. And that wants a mesh item. And so basically that's nice. Now we only have, well, it says question mark. But so now we can just copy this here. And we'll go to our other two places that we're doing this. So just, a reminder. Basically, I just I basically had three copies of this code, and basically I just combined it into one function that returns the text geometry. And now let's cross our fingers and hope it works. Oh, I think it reloaded because I made changes. I was too fast. Okay, we're going to change it to a text. I believe all we do is have we have like a period, I think, in there. And so that seems to be working. Let's see, the height was how thick it is, so it must be pretty thick right now. The size, so let's say 2. And that didn't seem to change anything. Let's see, let's turn this into a normal. And height is 2. It doesn't seem to be working as far as I can tell. Let's see, I wonder if we have any errors in the console. Does not look like we have any errors in the console. So I don't know why this is not working. What else could we do? We could do the curved segments. I don't know. There are no curves, so I don't think it would make a difference. Oh, bevel. I think bevel offset. Okay, yeah. I don't think those. Well, I don't know. I don't know what that deal is. Bevel offset, bevel segments is 5. So that means if we move the camera, we know it's doing something. So I don't know why I would make it orthographic. So I'm going to move it over to like an X of -2 and then a Z of 2. So I'm going to get in closer, just kind of get a look at what's going on there. And then let's go back to our mesh. So I changed the height to 2. Let's change the height back to 1. Doesn't seem to make any difference at all. Size 1. Yeah, I don't think, something does not seem to be working. 1.1. I feel like before what was happening was there would actually be changes, but for some reason the bevel offset seems to do something. 0. So let's change the height to 1. Yeah, no, it was definitely doing something before. I don't know what's going on. So let's go to our ThreeJS, to our new text geometry. Let's change this to hello. Let's see if it was just a coincidence that it was working. It's very slow to build. Add mesh, edit, text. Yeah, so that's working. Let's see. Now remember before, like, see, it looked weird though before when it was height of 1, and then we'd have to turn it to 0.1 for it to look right. And now it's looking right from the beginning. So it feels like, oh, huh. So the thing I copied did not use the height or the width. So I see I had 3 versions and I didn't copy a version that that was correct. So, and that sort of highlights why you want to do this height. All right. So add mesh. You know why you want to combine them, because you know you're just never going to keep them all right if you have different copies of the same function. Yeah, see, now it's more like what I was expecting. Hello, 0.1. Let's convert this into a Fong. And we can't see, oh, we don't want Fong, we want a normal. And then we want to kind of zoom in a little bit so we can see what's going on. Let's see, Z position of 1 and X position of -1 and 0.1 and Z position of 0.1, too close, 0.3. There we go. So now we see our 5 little bevel marks. So we could turn it to 1. Oh, I'm looking at the camera. 1 bevel segment. Now we got our nice clean bevel, or we can make it like 10, and it's a nice smooth bevel, 100. It's very, very smooth. You know, so I don't know. I felt like if you're going to do a bevel, I guess that's what you want is 1, so you can clearly see it. I guess we'll move our camera back to where it belonged, where it started. See if it makes any difference at all. It is kind of nice though, because I feel like I definitely understand the bevels better now. Let's move our X position. It was 0, but it's basically 0 now. And move our Z position to 3 and 2. So you can actually see the bevels now that I know what they are. Yeah, especially on the E there. So if I make the bevel 0, bevel. Oh, okay. So that's interesting. So you can definitely see the bevel even though it's at 0. So if I do a bevel offset of 1, then you can't see anything because it's all weird. 1. Now, 0.1 is that. And then 0.01. So you can definitely see it. 0.001. 0.001. And 0. So I still don't even know what this bevel offset is, to be honest with you. I'm completely clueless. Um, I thought that we wouldn't even be able to, with a bevel offset of 0. So I guess bevel offset. So here I am again back into um, domain. It's all about the domain. Okay, so this seems like a good. This is for Blender, so it's probably not a bad. So this is the offset, this is the depth, and this is the width. So they don't have a size, ThreeJS. So they have extruded geometries. So these aren't even for text. That's interesting. It's okay. And then ChatGPT will just overwhelm us with information. That is bevel offset in. So there's about a 90% chance of what we're reading is going to be actually correct. There is a possibility that we might get the wrong information completely. Um, is using the geometry of shapes to control the distance between the original shape and the start of the bevel. It's primarily used in the creation of 3D extruded geometries, allowing you to add bevel or chamfer to the edge of the shape, giving it a more polished and three-dimensional opinion. Uh, how about for text? Now it's bevel offset parameter to control the bevel for text geometry. This is used for giving specify various parameters for our text extrusion, including bevel. Oh my gosh, so they don't really tell you specifically. The distance from the original shape's edge to the start of the bevel. What is the start of the bevel, though? The start of the bevel refers to the point or distance from the edge of the original shape where the bevel begins to slope towards or inwards. So the point where the bevel begins to slope inwards or outwards. So the point where it starts. So if let's redraw it. into a normal. Let's move the camera in a couple of spots. Z position 2. All right. And so now I guess it's useful to make the bevel count 1. Bevel segments 1 so we can see that. Okay, so there's a really good example right there. From there to there. So it's saying the distance from, what did it say? The context, start of the bevel refers to the point or distance from the edge of the original shape to where the bevel begins to slope inwards. So the distance from here to where, is it from there to where it begins? So like from there to where, so if I doubled it, unfortunately I can't double it. So if I make it 0.01, and now if I double it, does that make this twice as close in? So it will make the O kind of smaller. O2. So it's the difference from where it starts. I don't know. I think I'm starting to get closer to kind of understand it. I definitely do not understand it, but it does make the O smaller. So if we move the camera over to an X of like 5, and we tell it to look at 5. Okay, so 4. Look at 4. 3. Look at 3. All right, I don't know exactly where 3 is. So it's right. We're really close, but so this O, I guess, would get smaller as we make the bevel offset bigger, because the distance from where it starts, it just doesn't make sense to me. 0.03. It is getting smaller, but it doesn't seem to affect the actual bevel. It just seems to, maybe it's this distance here. So the offset is 3. Let's see, 4. Let's see, we've got this doing, so read that one more time. The start of the bevel refers to the point or distance from the edge of the original shape to where the bevel begins. The edge of the original shape. That's weird, we have some. Edge of the original shape to where the bevel begins. Where is my, oh, it's in the same. So the edge of the original shape is like here, and then the bevel begins. So I guess it would make more sense. The edge of the original shape is here, and then the bevel begins here. Maybe so maybe it's from the front. I don't know if it's, yeah, that's the hard thing, is what it seems like. Yeah, maybe this H is also getting bigger when I, like, from here to here is also getting bigger. 5. So these are definitely getting fatter, right? Like these are getting fatter, but is it also getting bigger in there? So then they get these bevels that are 6. Yeah, it kind of seems like this is also getting fatter. So let's move the camera over to like Z position of 0, but an X position of 7, 5, and have it looking at 0. So it's looking at the origin. Let's get this closer. 3, 4. Okay, so is that getting fatter when we do the bevel offset 7? No, that's staying the same. It's getting taller. 2. Oh no, it did get bigger. Oh, it's 0.2. 2. It got a lot bigger. Let's move the camera back out. I think it's a lot bigger now. Um, but maybe not. Exposition of 7. Oh no. See, it didn't get bigger. It just got closer to us. So this is not changing at all. It's just the front. So now if we go back to a Z of 7. Yeah, so I guess it's just the width of whatever you're looking at. So, but not the thickness. So the distance between the edge of the original shape where the bevel began to slope inward or outward. Original shape edge. The initial edge of the shape or texture boundary before the beveling is applied. Bevel start to point along the edge where the beveling begins. Bevel thickness is the depth of the bevel itself, and bevel size is the distance to bevel. So I think we're back to like where it would make a lot of sense to make this a period. Add mesh, edit, turn it into a text, and then make it a normal material, and then move the camera in to like 2. And then make the bevel offset like 1. So it should probably get super wide and stay the same thickness. And then it's kind of weird is bevel segments of 1. And then I guess we need to move the camera off to the left a little bit so we can kind of see. All right, so the bevel is the same. There's nothing that changed. It seems like it's okay. The edge is here to the beginning of here, I guess. And I guess it's just calculated in all 4 directions. I guess that's what it's doing. Anyways, yeah, so we spent a couple of minutes coding, and let's see how many minutes. Like 20 minutes doing analysis of what the heck a bevel start is, what the bevel offset is. Um, that's just sort of the nature. It is interesting. Oh, okay, so it's fat. Let's see, and then because my height is big, 0.1. Yeah, so it seems to affect the width and the height, right? So whenever I change my bevel offset to 1, yeah, it got wider and taller. And I think size has the same effect. Let's see. 2. It's a little different though. So like the bevel is actually like center. It's like it's expanding taller and wider from the origin, from the very middle of the box, and the height or the size seems to leave it at the same on the on the x-axis, on the y-axis, but just get bigger on the upwards. Like, but its starting place is the same. So that's just an observation. Anyways, yeah, happy coding, guys. Bye.